All right, let's look at adding an image to our page. So for an image, we actually need an image file. And I like to go to this place called unsplash.com. And we can just use free royalty-free images. And I just want any image. It doesn't really matter what the image is, although this one is pretty perfect. It has a laptop. That's pretty much what I want. Click, and I'm going to download this. And I'm going to download the largest one that I want, just so I can really make, I guess, a good example of this in just a second. Well, maybe not too large. That's a pretty big image. But let's download the large one. And now this is going to go into my downloads folder. And I actually want this to live beside my hello world and second page. And that's on my desktop. So I need to open up that folder and move it into my desktop. Otherwise, this is not going to work. So if I just copy this file here, go over to my desktop, paste it. And where are you? Right there. Let's call this Caleb's image. It's not actually my image. I didn't take this image. XPS took this image, but I'm going to call it Caleb's image just for the sake of keeping it simple. So let's go back to here, and then let's go, let's close that. We don't need that open anymore. And let's go to VS Code. And now let's add an image. Now this is interesting because images don't have text. So does it need a closing tag? And the answer actually is no. So let's go ahead and create an H3 in here. H3, let's call this images. And to create a new image is the img tag. It's not image, it's img. Now, if I close this, there's actually two ways to close this. So this is a self-closing tag, meaning it does not have /image. That's not how this one works, because there's no text, there's nothing else to display. Instead, we're going to use an attribute. And so we can just say there's an image here, and you might actually see it close like this. This is called XHTML. This is an older way of doing things and totally valid still. I write a lot of code this way because I'm a little older school, but it's still completely valid. Or you can just write img, and you want the source of the image, the src for source, is equal to Caleb's image dot. Now this is important. You need to know that file extension. And that file extension here was .jpeg, JPG. Now if yours is uppercase .jpg like this or like this, make sure it matches. It has to be perfect. So mine was not that. Mine was .jpg. I can go ahead and save this, and let's scroll down to where it's supposed to show up, and we're going to see this giant image. And this is actually why I wanted this huge image here, is because this was a really large image. Now, cool, the image showed up, but it's just way too big. Now what we can do is we can add a second attribute. We can say the width is supposed to be, and this is going to be in pixels, let's say 500. Let's go ahead and save that. And what this is going to do is make that image a width of 500 and automatically scale the height for me. So if I right click and inspect, what's cool about this, it says width 500, but you can actually see as I hover over the image, it says the image is 500 by 281 by 0.25. Now, if we wanted to skew this, and I don't know why you would want to, but if you ever wanted to skew an image, you can add a width and a height. And you could say the height is going to be, let's say 200. So this is going to look a little bit off now. You can see it's a little bit squishier. Let's make this pretty extreme and change the height to 100. So now we have 500 by 100. If I hover over, you can actually see over in my viewport, it says img 500 by 100. Now, maybe we don't want to scale an image by its width. Maybe we want to scale it by its height. And there will be times where you want to scale an image by its height or just its width, one or the other, not necessarily both. So let's say for whatever reason, we're working with a designer and the designer says, no, the image has to be a maximum height of 100 pixels. And we say, okay, height is equal to 100, save, and let's go ahead and refresh. This is now a height of 100 and a width, whatever that automatically was, is 177.77, and our browser works that out for us. So just as a recap, we could say, we have an image element. There's no closing tag because, well, what are we going to close? There's no content to put between two tags. We're using attributes here. The source, the src, is equal to Caleb's image.jpg. And this could also be a link to a particular image on the web web, like HTTP, website.com/image.jpg. It could be something like that. It can use absolute or relative URLs. And so we're using a relative URL. We have a second attribute, width is equal to 500. Third attribute, height is equal to 100. And this makes our really weird looking image. And this entire thing is the image element. Now there's a lot more we could add, and actually I'm going to add this in here anyways. Two things. Let's go ahead, because this is getting kind of big. Let's throw this on separate lines, just because, we can, because white space doesn't matter. And let's add an alt. And alt is going to be the text that shows up when a screen reader is trying to read your image, trying to describe what the image is, or if the text, or not the text, but if the image breaks, what text to show. So show me. And let's go ahead and change this to .missing.image. So this is not a file on my computer. This is not going to work. This image is going to break for me. And you can see broken image and it says show me. That's the alt text. And if I just undo that, I'm just changing it back to my regular image here. The alt text doesn't show up. That's perfect. We don't want it to show up. We want the image to show up. But just in case the image doesn't show up, we have a fallback. So that's how we add an image. What I would like you to do now is add an image to your page, to your Hello World page. Remember, you can get any sort of images you want from unsplash.com and just use any image that you like. It doesn't really matter what the image is.